in the last 2 days, I saw everybody in the Subaru community go berserk. I just want to talk about it real quick while I have some daylight. I've had a lot going on lately, and things have just been really stressful for me. So maybe this just isn't hitting me the same way because I'm just worried about everything but my car right now. So I'm just out here sitting in the car just so I can kind of take it all in. And what I'm talking about is Cobb's new Green Speed Initiative update. And with this update came quite a few changes to the access port software. It's really upsetting knowing my hobby, my favorite thing to do, is getting taken away a little bit at a time. I feel like everyone's just really upset and really angry. I took a deep breath. I just kind of sat back and I was like, okay, well, this is the scenario now. How are we going to get around this? And so I just wanted to kind of make a little video. So Cobb is like the staple of the Subaru community, and everyone knows it. Cobb is like the go-to brand. When someone buys a Subaru, the first thing that they're supposed to buy is a Cobb access port. Cobb is the gatekeeper, and the access port is the gate key to do anything that you want with your WRX. Cobb was the most in demand, it was the easiest, it was the most accessible, and the most cost-effective, I think. Rather than try and say it verbatim and get something wrong, I'm just going to read it to you guys. I'll read through it really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and skip straight to the good part. Cobb says, as a leader in the custom tuning market, we have taken the position that we must help our customers address the regulatory changes present in today's marketplace. To us, this means helping ensure that tuners or calibrations developed using our Access Tuner software address the new evolving emissions requirements present in the market and could be CARB EO certified. To do this, we had to make changes to our software to eliminate the chance of creating a file that could be viewed by an emissions regulator as bypass defeat or emissions delete tune or calibration. We have taken great care to modify our software to ensure that calibrations developed with our system maintain the vehicle emission system functionality and that they do not negatively impact the vehicle's emissions-related element of design. Emissions-related elements of design is a term that refers to any part, device, or element of design installed on or in a motor vehicle or motor vehicle engine by an original equipment manufacturer for the specific purpose of controlling emissions, or which must function properly to assure continued vehicle emission compliance. So, here's the features that they changed. The features include, but are not limited to, diagnostic trouble codes, oxygen sensors, exhaust gas temperature, three-way catalysts, exhaust gas recirculation systems, stratified warm-up, tumble generator valves, secondary air injection, evap system, features or tables associated with certain OEM OBD test minimum and maximum limits, features or tables associated with certain OEM OBD test monetary entry threats. Basically, they're going to modify all these things and make it limited or not usable at all. You won't be able to erase a check engine light or hide a check engine light. So if you have an emissions defeat device, it is going to throw a check engine light no matter what. You can't tune that out with the software. They're going to regulate the use of O2 sensors, which I'm not a tuner. I don't tune cars for a living, but I know that it is crucial to get the proper air-fuel ratio to make sure that the car is running properly and that's not going to lean out and blow up. So I believe most tuners now use the O2 sensors to monitor that stuff. So I don't know if they are not going to be able to monitor the O2 sensors or if they're going to be able to monitor it, just not the same way. Anyway, the EGR and TGV and all that fun stuff. So all the emissions control devices are not going to be able to be tampered with. And what I've been told by a couple people now is that you will still be able to get your car tuned with those. However, you're going to have a check engine light because they can't tune it out and get rid of it. So if you don't want TGVs or EGRs, at least as of right now, you can still have the car tuned without them, but you're going to have a constant check engine light that will never go away. And as you know with the Subarus, when you get the check engine light on the newer WRXs and STIs, the entire dash lights up like a Christmas tree. Every single light comes on and it flashes at you and it's super annoying, and there's no easy way around that. A lot of people, when this first happened, they're like, oh, well, can't a tuner just not update their software or just disconnect from the internet and then, they can tune the old-fashioned way? And the answer is no. A tuner cannot do that because, well, the Cobb Access Tuner software that the tuners are using to make tunes for the access port, you have to go in, you have to sign in, and you have to be online to tune a car, basically. So you have to sign in online to be able to use Access Tuner. And so all these tuners woke up one morning and bam, it was updated. I do not agree with the way Cobb went about this. This was very not cool. But to be honest, the way some people are going about it is very uncool as well. So Cobb is in a very tight spot, right? Cobb is sitting in a chair with their arms tied to it, and the EPA has a knife to their throat. And Cobb is a really big company, and they want to stay afloat. And if they do one wrong thing, the EPA could be like, bye-bye, you're done. And so Cobb is like trying to be really compliant. They want to be the industry leaders. They want to be the first to do this and have the rest of the people kind of follow in line. And so they are trying to come into compliance. Now, I don't think the EPA said, hey, Cobb, this is what you need to do and you need to do it now. I think Cobb just knows that that time is coming and they're just getting ready for it. Now, the way they went about it is kind of screwed up. I don't agree with it. The fact that they just one morning were like, hey, this is happening. Deal with it. It's effective immediately. That was really tough because there's a lot of people that just bought a crap ton of parts for their car, or maybe they are in the middle of an engine build, or maybe they have something going on and now this is going to mess with their tune. But one of the things nobody is taking into consideration is that you can still tune the vehicle, at least right now. The biggest thing that they changed with this update was the removal of flex fuel. I think it was STI Mikey said this, that Cobb has been silently screaming at us for a long time now. And when they discontinued the flex fuel kits, maybe we should have assumed that this was coming. And I think some people did and some people didn't. It caught some of us off guard. I didn't really put two and two together, and it kind of caught me off guard. You can still get tuned on flex fuel, and just the way you have to do it is with two separate maps. You have to get tuned on 91 or 93, whatever your octane level is, and then you have to get tuned on E85. If you don't want to run full E85, you can still get tuned on E50 or E60, but you're not going to have the flex part of the flex fuel. So what's going to happen is the tuner has to make that map specific for, and this makes no sense to me, but let me just say that. This makes zero sense to me because it's cleaner on the environment to produce, it's a cleaner burning fuel, so I have no idea why we're targeting flex fuel out of all things. If you get tuned on E60, you can go to the tank and you can fill up, and every time you fill up, get to E60 and you'll be perfectly fine. But if you go to the tank and you mess up and you get E40, your car is still tuned for E60 and nothing else. So if you get E40 in your tank, you're going to be in trouble. And for people that have been on flex fuel for a while, that's not too hard to achieve, that same number over and over again. Sometimes in the winter months, the blend changes and you got to be careful. There's ways to measure out your fuel before you put it in the car or after it's in the car and things like that, but it's a real pain in the ass, and you can still do that. Or you can just get a high pressure pump and be tuned on full E85. But then again, there could be issues where in the winter months when the ethanol content goes down, say to E70 or something, or honestly, if you go to a flex fuel pump, it can go as low to E50. And so what can happen is you go to a fuel station to fill up and you're thinking you're getting E85, but you're getting E50. That could be catastrophic. There's a bunch of other tuning softwares out there, but the worst part about that is they're all going to sort of end up in the same way. First off, take this time right now and do everything that you want to do while you still can. There's other options out there right now that you could go to if you really wanted to, that support this platform without going full standalone. But those platforms are going to dissipate soon anyway. They're all following the same footsteps, and I've seen emails and have heard pretty solid sources tell me that they're all going to be maybe a year behind. They're going to end up in the same spot that Cobb's in. So I believe if you're already in the middle of the tuning process right now, I think most certified access tuners, pro tuners, have a grace period. I'm not positive, but that's been the word through the grapevine, is that you'll have about 2 weeks to finish your tune before it's permanent. Just try and be as quick as you can about it, get everything done. If you don't have a tune in progress, don't rely on that, don't count on that you can order parts, get parts in, hit up a tuner, and get a tune done in the next 2 weeks. I don't think that that's going to happen, and most tuners probably have such a backlog of people that they're not going to be able to keep up with that. But what I think you can do is take advantage of maybe one of the other tuning platforms right now, like ECU Tech or something like that. The way I stand on this, I'm kind of stuck with everything that I have done in my car. I can't get it tuned the way that I would want, so I'm probably done with power mods for a little while. I don't see me having $10,000 to $15,000 for a standalone ECU system anytime soon. Now, I know Cobb says eventually there may be carb compliant flex fuel kits and stuff, which I don't understand. I don't really understand how a sensor can even affect emissions and how it's gonna be carb compliant. I don't know what their plan is. We're just along for the ride, and there's not a whole lot we can do. I mean, you can sell your Subaru and go buy something else, but say you sell your Subaru and you go buy a GR Supra. You can tune the Supra right now, but there's going to be a time when you can't. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. I'm curious if you guys are still going to keep trying to modify your Subarus, or if you're giving up and you're going to sell your Subarus, or if you're just going to stop where you're at and leave it go and just be happy with where it's at. Fill up the comments. Let me know what you think. I'll be in there talking to you guys a little bit. If there is any time to unite and stop the drama and stop the arguing and stop the shit talking in the car community, now is the time. Because we are all in this together, and they're not just coming for Subarus. They're coming for everything. Well, anyways, guys, this is a really big can of worms to open up, and it's just, the more you talk about it, the crazier it gets and more frustrating it gets. But I don't want to make this video go on too much longer, so I'll talk to you guys in the comments. I appreciate you checking out the video, and I'll see you guys again soon, hopefully. Take care.